Hey, welcome back to Math. Mr. Jorgens here. We're going to be covering section 3.5 on graphing linear equations today. I'm going to call this one a part 2 for you since we started it last time with learning how to find slope. Today is going to be all about learning how to put slope and y-intercept into y equals mx plus b form or slope-intercept form. Pay attention, there will be a few questions for you along the way. All right, so we're looking at slope-intercept form today. That's y equals mx plus b. Again, x and y are your variables. M, which we talked about last time, stands for slope. So our slope is going to be in the slot in the equation where there's an m. And then b stands for the y-intercept. And if you remember from last week in section 3.4, the y-intercept is the spot where the graph crosses the y-axis. So there's going to be two main types of problems that we're going to go over how to solve today. One of them is if they give you the equation directly, then we're going to automatically know that whatever number is in front of x here is our slope. Whatever number is the plus b or minus b on the end is going to end up being the y-intercept. If it's like minus 5, that would mean that the negative 5 would be the y-intercept. The second type of question is when they give us a graph. And when they give us a graph, we kind of covered what to do about slope last time. So if they give us a graph, we would count rise over the run to get the slope. And that's going to be the same as kind of what we did in the last section. And then for the y-intercept is kind of the new part today. And the y-intercept is going to be the spot where the graph crosses the y-axis. So that number would be b. And the way you're going to be able to calculate that is by counting the number of spaces up. So say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces, that would mean b is 6. And then let's say we took, another point here, and let's say this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, right? Then that would mean in terms of rise over run, we'd be going down 6, so negative 6, and run 7. So that would mean our slope would be negative 6 over 7. And then if we're doing it from the graph, we would then say y equals mx plus b. So y equals m being negative 6 over 7x. And then b is positive, so plus 6. So if we're doing it from the graph, it'll go something like that. We should be able to pick that y-intercept out off of the graph. All right, so the first type of problem we're going to look at is given an equation finding the slope and y-intercept. So example 1a is going to be y equals 3x minus 4. And again, it's y equals mx plus b. So my m, the slope, is going to be 3. And my b, the y-intercept, is going to be that negative 4. So slope of 3, y-intercept of negative 4. So I want you guys to go ahead and try this one, y equals negative 2x plus 7. First, I want you to go ahead and enter the slope when you're ready. All right, good. Hopefully you picked out the slope to be negative 2. Now that you have the slope, go ahead and enter your y-intercept. Right, that other number left over, the 7, has to be the y-intercept, so we know that the slope is negative 2 and the y-intercept is 7. All right, in our second example, we're going to look at finding the slope and y-intercept of negative 5x plus y equals negative 2. And this problem is a little different because I don't have y by itself. So since it's not in y equals mx plus b form, I can't just go in and steal the slope and the y-intercept directly. I'm going to have to get y by itself first. In order to do that, I'm going to have to move this term, the x term, over to the other side. And I can do that by adding 5x to undo that negative 5x there. And once I do that, by adding 5x onto both sides, I'm going to put the x part first just because within the y equals mx plus b, my x part comes first. So I'm left with this y equals positive 5x minus 2. So that would be my equation in y equals mx plus b form, y equals 5x minus 2. Now that we have that, go ahead and enter the slope of that equation. Good, hopefully you said the slope m is equal to 5. And then our b, the y-intercept, of course, would be a negative 2. So if it's not already in y equals mx plus b form, you might have to do a little bit of manipulation before you can have y by itself, and you can go ahead and directly take the slope and the y-intercept out of the equation. All right, so let's work from the graph now. So we're going to try to write the equation in y equals mx plus b, or slope-intercept form of that graph. And again, the first thing we should be looking for is our y-intercept and our slope. So if you look at the graph, we can see that the y-intercept on this one, b, is up 3. So b is equal to 3. And then to get my slope, I'm going to get my rise over my run. And the rise is going to be down 3, so negative 3. And the run is going to be over 2. So down 3 over 2 as my slope. Then once I have that, I'm going to be able to write it as y equals mx plus b. So again, my slope is negative 3 over 2, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in for m. So y equals negative 3 over 2x. And then again, my b is positive 3, so plus 3. So my equation would be negative 3 over 2x plus 3. So from the graph, I can find the slope and y-intercept, and then I can convert that into an equation. All right, go ahead and try this one now. Write the equation in y equals mx plus b form. Just some key numbers for you. That's negative 2 where it crosses the y-axis, and that's going to be 5 over here where it crosses the x-axis. So using those two numbers, go ahead and try to write the equation in y equals mx plus b form. So again, putting the pieces together, my rise over run is 2 over 5. My y-intercept is negative 2. So I have y equals 2/5 x minus 2 as my equation in slope-intercept form. You should be ready now to try the practice problems on Big Ideas Math for the section 3.5. Hope that you guys had a good day today.